Welcome to First Unitarian Church of Orlando. I'm Neil Boris, a member of the church, not some rando. Today's service is an exploration like we Unitarian Universalists do. I'll be one lead explorer. Lisa Marie Mattyas makes two. Of course, we're joined on keys by Aubrey Connelly-Candelario. Most of you know him as our erstwhile musical impresario. And we're backed by a team of supporters AV to whom all we should say thank you, I hope you'll agree. Today we have guests from a group called Exodus United. They're part of our wider community, so we're delighted. Welcome their words, their presence, and their spirits. Listen closely to them, my friends, and you'll hear it. For our children today, we have a poetic book. I'll read it up here in our little nook. Then we'll all sing those kids out after Time for All Ages. If you've got an infant or toddler in tow, we do think it's important that you should know our nursery is open till noon for all those of littler ages. We greet you this morning, old friends and new. We're a community of justice seekers, more than a few, and commit to lifelong spiritual growth and opportunity alongside compassionate service within our community. As a Unitarian Universalist congregation, we are non-creedal, and we celebrate the worth of each human or beetle. We live by a covenant that encourages ethical behavior. We affirm democracy, but let you choose your savior. Whether today is your first or your 1000th Sunday here, whoever you are, whoever you love, you are welcomed as a peer. In this community, your whole self is welcome here. Young or old, rich or poor, straight or queer. No matter race, national origin, or immigration status, whatever your physical or mental abilities, whether dog lover or you prefer caddis, we're happy you've stopped by at our facilities. We welcome you. Now, for more information about our congregation and for further announcements, go to orlandouu.org or email us at info@orlandouu.org. We do have a couple of special announcements today. First of all, the worship team is organizing a potluck for the congregation on Sunday, August 18th, after the service. This is your chance to help shape our worship themes for the 6 months starting in September, provide input on the worship process, and sign up to be a worship attendant, a whole new role that we hope will bring some fresh faces right here at this microphone. And never leave your cat alone. Wrestling with our understanding of racism will not be meeting this summer, but we do encourage you to visit our Facebook page entitled Wrestling with Our Understanding on Race and Racism. There's lots there for you. All the other announcements for today are on slides before and after the service and have links in the weekly update or on our website. If you would like to follow along to the service, please use the QR code shown in the monitor and on the first few slides. We thank you again for being here in person and online today. And now, let's do our chalice lighting. I welcome my son, Anderson. And would all of you please join me as we light this chalice and say these words. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. Now, please rise in body or spirit and join me in singing our opening hymn. The words will appear on the screen behind me. And so today, our call to worship is a responsive reading. You can take the hymnal in front of you, the gray one, and open it up to number 490. I'll be reading the words in plain text. It's your job to read the words in italics, and they'll be up on the screen. You don't need the hymnal with you. It's just if you wish. The reading is actually a poem entitled Wild Geese by the great poet Mary Oliver. It is one of my favorites. You do not have to be good.
You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert and empty.
You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves.
Tell me about the spare, yours, and I will tell you mine.
Meanwhile, the world goes on.
Meanwhile, the sun and the clear petals of rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the leafy trees, the mountains and the rivers.
Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again.
Wherever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like a wild beast, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of faith.
Thank you. Let us worship together and first begin by greeting one another. Let's take a couple minutes to say hello. And now it's time for all ages. So would the young and young at heart please join me up front as I share one of my favorite books with you all. All right. This book is a favorite of mine, and my 3 kids are right here. So they've heard it about 1,000,000 times, yes? Over the years. It's called Charlie Parker Played Bebop. Yeah. And this is a book that is poetic and jazzy and all kind of stuff. So let's just go with it. Charlie Parker played bebop. Charlie Parker played saxophone. The music sounded like bebop. Never leave your cat alone. Bebop, fisk, fisk. Lollipop, boomba, boomba. Bus stop, zin, zin. Boppity, bippity, bop, bang. Charlie Parker played bebop. Charlie Parker played no trombone. The music sounded like bebop. Barbecue that last leg bone. Alphabet, 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 alf. Chickadee, 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 chick. Overshoes, 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 oh. Reedy footy, reedy footy, reedy footy, ree. Charlie Parker played bebop. Charlie Parker played alto saxophone. The music sounded like hip hop. Never leave your cat alone. Thank you, guys. Now, we will sing our children out. And if you can make an archway, as we like to do, we'll sing them out with the words and music that you all know so well. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. And now I'd like to invite Greg Buckingham forward. Greg is currently on our Board of Trustees. In fact, he's the prez. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We invite you now into the practice of generosity. It is one of our spiritual values which sustains the life and the ministries of our church community. Let us be grateful for the opportunity to give, for it is a privilege to be able to do so. And let us be grateful for our needs that give us the opportunity to practice receiving. Our Share Their Plate recipient for the month of July is the Legends Academy. Legends Academy provides a rich learning environment for children using the philosophy of teaching for understanding, which puts students at the epicenter for the instructional and assessment plan. Their philosophy centers on the development of a culturally responsive and safe learning environment with educational best practices of a K-8 school. Please give generously to support the Legends Academy. That's today. Yes. And we have a video?
Yes.
Washington Shores is a very unique neighborhood and very unique community. It has historically been a place where African American families have thrived. As you take a drive, you can see the names of those people. You can see Mabel Butler Way, or you can see Hankins Park. And so you see the legends in the community. You also see some things that need to change. Legends Academy is a response to what's needed in education, especially for children who live in urban environments and in under-resourced communities. And so our organization 3 years ago partnered with the Hope Center West community and received a significant contribution from the Charter School Growth Fund to open Legends Academy in the Washington Shores neighborhood. Legends Academy works for children, and the reason that it works is because we put the child first. We say what is in the best interest of that scholar, and we rally around each other to support each other. We have a tremendous team of teachers, of paraprofessionals, of people who work in the office, and there's a genuine love, concern, and care about that scholar, but a relentless effort to ensure that we have a solid and rigorous academic program. When we start to look at our curriculum, we are responsible for teaching the Florida standards, which is what we teach. The uniqueness comes in where we're able to look at our data, then tailor our instructional focus calendars to respond to what is needed for that particular child or that particular classroom. And so we're able to make decisions relatively quickly with our team, and we're able to say, okay, we're going to reteach here, they need enrichment here, and so we're constantly pulling small groups and constantly working with individual scholars to make sure that they're receiving rigorous instruction. When I think about our school and our team and our scholars and our families 10 years from now, my hope is that we have created an environment where scholars look back when they're graduating, they're crossing the stage, high school graduation and college graduation and going on to graduate school, that they know that they got a solid foundation at Legends Academy, that they know that they have a responsibility to come back to their community that loved them, that served them, and to give back. One of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, "Enter to learn, depart to serve." And so we want to make sure that our scholars know that they have the responsibility to educate themselves, but also the responsibility to give back to their community as well. So 10 years from now, I hope that we have homegrown philanthropists, homegrown scientists and engineers and teachers and lawyers and doctors, and people who are just good, solid human beings, people who love the city, who love our state, who love our nation, just people who give back and who love humanity.
The offering will now be collected. Note that you can also give using the online link.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grace, for purple mountains, majesties above the fruited plains. America, America, God shed your grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea, oh, beautiful for heroes prove in liberating strife, who more than self their country love, and more than men their life. America, America, love men thy every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law.
Thank you. Thank you, Aubrey. Let us joyfully receive what is offered here today in the spirit of gratitude and fellowship.
This is the time that we set aside for deep sharing of our hearts and for prayer and meditation. If you have a sorrow that you need witnessed or helped with, or have a joy that you wish to share, please contribute to our collective sharing of joys and sorrows to be read each Sunday during worship. You can send us an email ahead of time. If you're attending in person, you can also just fill out a card at the registration table and hand it to an usher before the start of service. And after the meditation, we will call you forward to participate in our candle lighting ritual. Bring your joys and sorrows as we come together. Come as you are. Your whole self is welcome in this sacred space that we create together. Today's flowers were brought by Catherine Vaccaro in honor of her first husband, Eddie Hardman, whom she first met and later married on the 4th of July. Emily Collins checked in and lets us know as follows: I took a tumble last Thursday, but I'm getting over it and doing quite well. I'm glad it was not the kind of fall that will make you think I shouldn't live by myself anymore. It was just one of those well-known cascade events. An X-ray appointment on Monday, we hope, will confirm that there is no lasting damage, and I'll be back at 1U next week doing double postcards for the Green Team. Don't worry about me. My neighbors are great. Love to all of you, my friends. And that's it for today. And yet, we continue to hold our Orlando families in love, our communities with care, and the world with our compassion by acting for justice in all of the small and large ways that we will move the arc of justice. And for all of the joys and sorrows of this community, whether shared today or those held close to our hearts, let's pray, let's celebrate, and let's send each other healing energy. We're now going to take a moment to use poetry, the theme of our service, to assist in meditation.
Thank you for having me. My name is Lisa Marie, and the title of my poem is The Promise You Will Find. There is a word within you, rising slowly, never knowing the sound of limitation. A sliver of silver sits upon its sphere, cradling its curve in endless eclipse, lacing us with flaming cusps of painted light. The word only hears, the voice and call of praise from all who speak and seek its sacred flame. The word only burns, dim enough to feel the fullest solace of the night, bright enough to see the beauty blooming without light, fierce enough to char every cluttered cause which no longer serves us, wild enough to wane every wrongful word which never deserved us. The word only knows, letting be, letting go, feeling free, feeling flow, feeling me, honoring everything you were created to be. There are no flaws in your design through the eyes of the divine. This is the promise you will find.
Now, you're invited to come forward this morning and light a candle of remembrance, loving kindness, or hope. Our first candle will be lit to recognize the joys and sorrows of our online community, and the last candle to recognize the unspoken joys and sorrows of all of us in this room. Please come forward.
It is with great pleasure I introduce Simba of Exodus United, our honored guest today.
Good morning to everybody in the room. My name is Shayna Simba Castano. I am a mother, a teacher. I run a nonprofit organization called Exodus United Incorporated. We are a 501c3 since 2015 here in Orlando, Florida. We do music, art, poetry programs for at-risk youth. In about 2 weeks, I'm excited to announce for the second year in a row, we are taking a group of powerful young kings and queens out to Washington, D.C. for the largest international poetry festival in the United States called Brave New Voices. Yes. And today I'm so excited because, you know, our family here has invited us, and Allison is one of our youth. She's going to perform an original poem for you today. So please put your hands together for Allison. Let's go, let's go.
Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Oh, y'all are awake. I love that. I've been personally on an all service because I am very tired, but thank God that I have the energy today to be here with you guys. I've been very excited for today to be here with you all, to fellowship with you all, to share this poem with you all. Excuse me as I adjust myself. So I'm a spoken word poet. I've been doing poetry with Exodus United for about 3 years, and I started doing poetry because I was in a very dark space, and I started doing it in school. I was very depressed to the point where I was having an anxiety attack, and I could not go to class, and that was where the first poem sprouted, was in school, from an anxiety attack. And now I'm here today with you all. Now I'm going to Washington, D.C. For poetry, so I just wanted to give a little bit of a backstory on how I'm here, about like why I'm doing what I'm doing, how I'm a part of this organization, and everything like that, because I am a rando. So yeah, so I have a bit of a testimony of how I started coming to church and how I came to Christ. And this was the poem that I wanted to share with you guys today, being that we are in a church and seeing as we all are fellowshipping here with each other. I thought it would be a great poem to perform. But the first time that I did this poem, it was at my school, actually, for a worship night. The kids there have a club called Crew, and they had organized a night for all of us to worship the Lord together, so that's what we did. And I got the opportunity to perform the poem, which was kind of crazy, because it's crazy how I started with depression, and then I ended up with joy at the end of my 4 years. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. It's not memorized, so I'm reading off my phone, all right? So I hope and pray that you guys enjoy, and may your heart and your ears be open to receiving. I was born sinner, shaped in iniquity by the hands of a man who breathed perfection, alongside a partner who fed him his deathbed. Right then, as Adam bit that fruit Eve was told not to eat, sin was conceived into the world, proceeding to pervert, twist, and taint everything we see. So as a little girl, I encountered many things like same-sex attraction at the age of 5, fake love from seeing mommy and daddy fight on weekdays to singing praises reserved to God on weekends. And I never understood the phrase, God is good all the time, when all the time I saw chaos. Although I was raised in a Christian household, we didn't pray nor teach Bible. Only God's wrath was preached through my dad's speech when he cursed me and my 4 siblings with the same mouth he blessed God with. Didn't hear the name Jesus at home unless I was rebuked. I, as in told what to do but never led towards righteousness, turned away from any faith I had in Jesus and ran straight into the world because of it. Became consumed with drugs, girls, bills, and thrills, all to fulfill the void inside my heart when really I needed to taste and see that God was good. Never intending to oppress, judge, or control me, but to bring peace and victory when he sent the perfect one, his only son in a lowly body like mine to live a sinless life and die the death every one of us deserves to receive, so I could realize God never hated who I was. He just hated the sin I gave my life away to. And now I can say, hallelujah, Jesus, because he is good all the time, and I finally understand what that means. He gave up his life so I could be redeemed from death. He gave up his life so I could live and see paradise. He gave up his life because he loves we, and if he's willing to do that, then he's willing to do anything for us. He is love. And if he gave up his life so we could have a chance to be born again, winners instead of sinners, as long as we believe he is king, then I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to do the same thing. And this is the story of how I was saved by grace through faith in Jesus' name. Thank you, guys. That's my poem.
People ask me how long I've been writing poetry for, and the truth is, it's my native tongue. It's the language of my birth and everything I've been dreaming of. I was born with a rare neurological disorder called synesthesia. It's genetic, and it results in extra neurons in the brain, causing cross-sensory experiences. For example, I perceive sounds as color, shapes, and intense sensations in my body. Synesthesia means my inner sensory world is intensely vivid, highly detailed, and always loud, yet driven by this intense desire to express myself. When I write that I love my friend in the summerly light of sisterly whispers, or her voice has an opal yellow shape, I mean it literally. This is how emotion and sensation come through me. Poetry has always been a way for me to appropriately articulate my experiences, as people approach art with this expanded capacity for perceptual awareness. Poetry could perfectly capture the lowest points in my life, as well as the sublime. Poetry keeps me connected to my inner light. When I was a child, adults would panic if I spoke about synesthesia, punish me for talking about it, or put me on a pedestal only to knock me off when they discovered my very real deficits in directional intelligence, spatial awareness, and basic arithmetic. To this day, I don't understand how 5, a mermaid, could be added to 6, which is always Christmas, an equal number as Gray's 11. I silenced my inner voice to avoid getting in trouble. I found it again in college, when free thinking and truth-seeking was encouraged. I would leave these like little poems on whiteboards and hide them in my friends' dorms. So my friends turned into fans, all just from me trying to share my love. In fact, all of my poems are love poems. If you expand love to the idea of being metaphysically romantic, poems praising the beauty of Toronto's nighttime, my friend who speaks in cedar smoky skylines, or clinging to glimmers of hope and tragedy, or the vivid colors which never cease to rattle me, all love poems. As a postgrad, I developed an intense ambition to prove to the world that I am intelligent and capable of convention despite my deficits, and any accolades garnishing my resume right now are a direct result of this. My life was not very poetic in the pursuit of controlling outcomes at the expense of my authenticity. I lost even more of my voice when I found myself in an abusive relationship. I became like so desperate not to end it, not to fail, not to care how badly I would destroy myself by staying. I remember crying out to God, like, what do you want from me? How did you create me to be? My answer was, just share your poetry. I was like, what? That is not what I was looking for. That's certainly not going to help out with the bills. Ever believing in the concept of eternal benevolence, I took up the invitation. As a Quaker, I believe that messages from the divine are simple, direct, and unmediated. I took time to sit in silence and discern this message to be true of its directive and to be a worthy pursuit. So I started to share my poetry. Having no idea how much it would heal me, I found my voice again. Things that weren't meant to be, or character defects that were just hurting me, burned away naturally. Everything replaced by people and places who loved the real me. Love came so easily. Through my radical honesty, my poetry became the purest part of me. Sharing it was pure alchemy. I was becoming everything I was meant to be. My literary performance career actually started right here in 2001 when Reverend Sam commissioned my Pulse poem. Since then, I've performed everywhere from Dr. Phillips to United Methodist to City Arts and places all across Orlando, Zebra Coalition, and in Toronto as well. However, I never received any higher honor than the invitation I received for a private performance for Pulse survivors and their grieving families. It's very hard for me to perform a piece reliving some of the worst moments of my life, but it was there where I witnessed the extraordinary communal healing power of poetry. There will never be any prize more than hearing a woman that day telling me she's going to translate my poem for her abuela, or a man telling me he reads my poetry before going to bed. Another man came up to me in tears and he said, "It meant so much to me. You gave me this dignity as a gay man." Hearing that was so sacred to me. And these are the reasons of communal healing, are precisely what drives me to share my poetry. And I believe poetry is for everyone. In fact, besides one undergrad class in English sonnets, I have no formal qualifications whatsoever to be a poet. But I suspect you all might like my rejection of artistic rules and hierarchies. As a Quaker, I believe everyone has equal access to the divine light which exists within us and beyond us. As a UU, I believe there is equal dignity and beauty in our diversity. You may have a very different concept of the divine than I do, or simply love the metaphor for calling upon the human spirit of creativity. The important part is that we each give each other space to voice our truest selves exactly as we are in this moment. This sets the stage where healing, hope, magic, and mysticism can happen. So when people ask me how to write a poem, I say all you need is a pen and a prayer. I hope you interpret it in a way that is meaningful to you. I believe all of my poetry comes through me, but not from me. I don't space syllables, count time, or try to rhyme when I'm writing. I just give up control and let that celestial rhythm flow through my soul. Carrying on a long tradition of invoking the muse, asking my higher power for help, I begin my creative process with a prayer. Wake up every morning, laying down whatever swords I've been wielding, and surrender. It's my only prayer. Spirit, unravel me. Make me everything you created me to be. May I hear all stories meant to flow through me. May I express them freely and naturally, like the summer sun coming down on the horizon's drum, or the wind and the rain cutting lavender and light in the midst of our pain. May I be everything my ancestors imagined. May their hopes and their dreams bring the bottom of my feet into action. Spirit, unravel me. Make me everything you created me to be. May I see everyone through your eyes, your sacred light never faltering inside. I give you my heart, I give you my tongue, and everything else I've been dreaming of. My lips are yours to compose, your poetry and prose. Everything else you ever wrote on my bones. Fulfill my every need. Make me everything you created me to be. May I be an instrument of your speech.
Thank you, Simba. Thank you, Allison. Thank you, Lisa Marie. And now it's time for our closing hymn, which is number 134, entitled, Though I May Speak with Bravest Fire. The words will appear on the screen. So please now rise in body or spirit and join in singing our closing hymn.
Wrong. It's actually 34 if you're looking at a hymn.
Ah, there you go.
Yes. Our call to action is to love the poetry within you. Whether it turns up on a page or you hear a piece of yourself from the stage, just let the soft animal of your body love what it loves and support others to speak their truest selves. We invite you to come learn more about Exodus United, support poets in our community, or become one yourself.
Now, please say these words as we extinguish the flame. And I'll ask Simba and Allison to join Lisa Marie and I just here as folks come out so you can greet and chat with us. And now, we extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
Amen.